Hey everybody, I'm Greg, and behind me we've got a 1981 Yamaha G1-A2 that's been in the family for about 35 years, and we'll give him a name now. We'll call him Bogey Bob after my dad. Relatively high handicap golfer, kind of like me. But so we've got been having a noise in well, when it was running. And as I suspect, it's probably in the connecting rod. So we've been taking off parts and trying as best to process of elimination, just figure out what the hell is going on, what's the noise, what the noise is from. So let's switch the camera around and take a look at the guts of the engine. We're about ready to pull the cylinder off. So what's been eluding me is this noise. And naturally, when it was running, it was a hellacious noise, and as best we could figure out, it seemed internal to me. And after we've stripped things down, basically I can stick my finger in the revalve or the intake port, and basically I can feel slop back and forth this way on the connecting rod, and going up and down or rotating the crankshaft, you can hear it too. The only time that goes away is when I put slight pressure on the piston. So to me it seems like it's all in the connecting rod at the crank and or up at the wrist pin. So we're about ready to pull the jug off, the cylinder off, and take a closer look-see. Pretty easy disassembly. The cylinder itself, just looking through here, I'm seeing the reflections, or the light reflecting through there. I see really no scoring. I mean, it really looks good. Maybe just a little honing. I'm not sure if it's going to need boring out. With a little cleaning up, I'd say that's a relatively decent cylinder head. So let's set that aside. And you can see a lot of carbon built up, both under when I took off the cylinder head and also on the top of the piston. But so now, just looking at things, looks like we've got some blow-by from the piston rings here, some carbon buildup. Let me take a look at the other side. This side is good. No carbon buildup that I can see. Just kind of rotating it, and moving around, you can just see just a lot of slop in there, and that's sliding on the wrist pin now, but I can kind of rock the piston. To me, there's just a little too much play and slop, and more than likely that's what was causing our noise. But I think I'll maybe pop that piston off and see what the connecting rod bearing looks like. Okay, so get the piston removed, and again on the driver's side we saw some I guess scorching here, or carbon buildup. On the opposite side, things look pretty good. So I'm assuming we've got a little problem with the piston rings being worn out, but the piston itself, really doesn't look scored. Well, I thought that basically, we had just an enormous amount of slop in this wrist pin bearing. To me, it was just grossly excessive. However, what I've just realized, as many of you probably already know, is that with the wrist pin in, it presses the rollers or fills up kind of the cavity or the bearing. And now let's try to hold that connecting rod solid. I don't have that play. In fact, that feels like a pretty darn good bearing there. I don't have the slop that I anticipated or thought that was occurring, you know, because of how loose it was when the pin is out. Putting the pin back in, you know, that's pretty darn snug. I just don't feel the looseness that I expected. So taking all that out, I think our culprit is down at the crank end of the connecting rod. We got that play back and forth. I mean, I can basically tilt it kind of back and forth this way. So if I've got that much play this way, I've got to have a little play coming up and down as well. Yeah, we're gonna have to pull that whole thing apart and just freshen it up and give it a new lease on life after 35 years of a lot of fun memories, a lot of abuse probably, especially by my nephews, but when Dad was around, he probably got 15 solid years of use out of it as well. So, you know, this has been in the family about 35 years, so it's due for a major league overhaul and kind of a reward for service well done.